Tully and I go all the way back to West Texas State. Tully Blanchard was the quarterback for the West Texas State Buffaloes while I was there.
How about that?
A matter of fact, the first time I ever met Tully was when he came on board. I think he had tried to go somewhere else and it didn't work out, and so I don't know how it got. But I think Terry Funk obviously helped because Tully's dad was a booker in out of San Antonio. So that's how Tully ended up at West Texas State. So again, here's two guys that both have fathers who were in the business, and one, Tully's dad was still, booking San Antonio. So, and Tully's a smart guy, and he was good, a good quarterback, but it's kind of like I was doing an interview because I was going to wrestling when I was back there not in Mid-South, working the Amarillo territory. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knew. I mean, Ted DiBiase and Tully Blanchard played football together at the same time at West Texas State. And I said, yeah, cutting the interview that I'm going to wrestle him, right? I said, yeah, Tully was a pretty good quarterback. I mean, but, he also had the record of, throwing the most interceptions. And it's just like, and it got him so bad that he actually tried to commit suicide, but somebody intercepted the bullet. But no,
that is great.
Yeah.
Now, you were an offensive lineman at the time, right?
Yeah, I was recruited as a defensive lineman, and I knew from the get-go, that college is where my football career would ended because I'm like, you might have called me Tortoise the Turtle because I am not fast. The thing about being a lineman is it's quick off the ball and it's that first explosion, and then you got two guys that are battling. But anyway, yeah, they recruited me as a defensive tackle. But because of my lack of speed, they said, I remember the coach looked at me one day and he said, DiBiase, he said, I wish all our players had your tenacity, but son, we're going to have to start timing you with a sundial. And I remember thinking to myself, well, no NFL, that's for sure. And so they said, we're going to move you to offense and make you an offensive tackle. And that will give you the benefit of the snap count and an assignment, because on defense, you're reacting. So, and you have to react fast. So what they were trying to do is give me whatever advantage they could. I wasn't real happy about it, but I wanted to play. So I was an offensive tackle.
Well, rumor has it that Tully could be difficult to get along with at times. So did you ever let a defensive guy slip past you? Go ahead and light him up, teach him a lesson?
I would not admit that on this podcast.
I'm going to take that as a yes.
And that was true too. I mean, some of the guys, I went and I introduced him to, all these guys on the football team. And yeah, Tully's a different guy now. Let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
He's a much different person now. He was pretty much all full of himself back then.
Yep. Arn has said before on his podcast, that he was like, most of us were playing heels. He was like, it was a shoot with Tully. That guy was a heel.
Arn has a good way of saying everything.
Yep.